Today's lesson is over solve for y. All right? And the question is, how do I solve for y with distributive and combine like terms? Okay, so there's a few things that I need to let you know. There's a couple of forms that a equation can be listed in. And the first one is standard form. It's capital AX plus big B times y equals C. We have slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. All right? And to go from standard form to slope-intercept form, you must solve for y. Okay? So let's look right here. Let's take our first example. Right here we need to solve for y. Now we're trying to get in this form, y equals mx plus b. You always want in the form y equals mx plus b. Okay? So what's the first thing you see? You see parentheses, so you must distribute. Oh, I should write distributive. Sorry. There you go. Distributive property. So here we go. We're going to distribute, and we get y equals 2x, because 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, plus 4x. Now what do? You combine like terms. All right? So what are you going to combine? We're going to combine a 2x and a positive 4x. Make sure you always keep that sign in front of the number. The sign must go in front of the number. So now we have y equals 2x plus 4x is 6x minus 2. And now you are in slope-intercept form. Okay? Distribute, combine like terms. Make sure y equals mx plus b. All right, and that is it. So let's try to do a few examples here. So what's the first thing you need to do on number 1? Distribute, because we see those parentheses, right? So let's distribute, and we get y equals 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Well, look, you're in y equals mx plus b, so that's your answer. You're done. Okay? Number 2, the first thing you have to do, make sure you always distribute. If you see parentheses, you must always do that first, all right? So here we're going to distribute. So we have y minus 5 equals 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Now remember, we want to solve for y. So I want to get everything away from this. Let me draw my wall here. I want to get everything away from this wall. Well, I have a negative 5, so I have to add 5. But you have to make sure that you understand you can only add numbers together and you can only add x terms together. So my 2x does not change. And then you have negative 1 plus 5, which is negative 6 plus 5, which is negative 1. And you're in the form y equals mx plus b. All right? So let's go to number 3. All right, this one looks a little bit more difficult, but we can figure this out together. Can I distribute? No, you cannot distribute because there is not there are no parentheses. So what we need to do first is, okay, let's ask our questions. Can you distribute on the left? No. Can you distribute on the right? No. Can you combine like terms on the left? Well, no, because you have an x term, a number, and a y. Okay? Can you combine like terms on the right? No, because you have a 12 and a number, a constant, and an x term. So you can't combine. So now we have to combine like terms on the opposite side, okay? So what I'm going to do is, since my y is right here, I'm going to try to move these to this side. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2x. This cancels out. 5 plus y equals 12. Negative 4x plus 2x is negative 2x. Okay? Now remember, if you have to highlight. We're still trying to solve for y. So now we've got to get this 5 away. So I'm going to subtract 5. Now since it's a number, I have to subtract it from the 12. Y equals 12 minus 5 is 7 minus 2x. Now, we are in slope-intercept form right now, but we're not in the correct version of it, okay? So we just want to rewrite it. You have to make sure that that negative stays with that 2. So it's negative 2x. This 7 is positive, so it's a plus 7. Just make sure you keep the appropriate sign with the appropriate number, okay? All right. Here we go on this one. All right, so I'm going to solve for y. Can I just, let's draw a line. I don't want to draw my line all the way down here. Can I distribute on the left? Nope, there's any parentheses. Can I distribute on the right? Nope, it's just a number. Can I combine like terms on the left? Yes. You can combine 0 and negative 3x. Make sure you're paying attention to your signs. So this is like saying 1 minus 3, which gives you negative 2x plus y plus 4 equals 0. Now, we still want to solve for y. Okay? So we've got to move everything to the other side. So I'm going to first move let's add our 2x. So we're going to add 2x to this side. So right now I have y plus 4 equals 2x plus 0. Now I'm going to go ahead and write my x term in front. Okay? Now, solve for y. So what do I have to get away from the y? Is the 4. So we have to subtract 4 from both sides. And you get y equals 2x minus 4. And once again, you're in y equals mx plus b form. All right? So the question is, how do I solve for y with distributive and combine like terms? You distribute, you combine like terms, and you simply just solve for y. And you use all the rules that you already know about solving equations. All right? So what I want you to do is I want you to flip it over, and we need to do one more. And this one is going to be standard form. And this is, how do I use inverse operations to solve for y? Okay. Now, the standard form of an equation, remember if you look right here, it is ax plus by equals c. It is where a, b, and c are real numbers. They are just normal numbers, y'all, okay? Is standard form on the formula chart? Yes, if you look at your star chart, you will see the standard form. So it's one of those things that you'll always have with you. So let's recall, what is slope-intercept form? Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope or rate of change, and b is the y-intercept. Okay. If the equation is in standard form, solve for y to get it into slope-intercept form. All right, so what we're going to do here is it's in standard form. So we're still going to solve for y. We're still trying to take a standard form, just strictly standard form, and we want to put it into slope-intercept, okay? So here we go. Remember, solve for y. I'm going to go ahead and circle all my y terms, highlight them, so I know what I'm doing here. All right, so the first one, I'm going to solve for y. I want y by itself. Subtract 2x, subtract 2x. Y equals negative 2x plus 4. Done. Okay, your m is negative 2, your b is a positive 4. Okay, so look, m is negative 2, b is 4. Let's look at number 2. Solve for y again. This is standard form. We want to put it into slope-intercept form. Solve for y. We have to add 3x to both sides. Y equals 3x minus 7. Go ahead and put that x term first. It just helps. Your m is 3 and your b is negative 7. Okay, think you can do this one? All right, so let's try number 3. Solve for y. So you got to get everything off this side of the equation to the other side. So you have to do the inverse operation. So you have to add 3x. I go ahead at this moment, I go ahead and write 3x plus 8, just so that I keep it in slope-intercept form. Y is still not by itself though. Okay? Now I've got to get this 4 away from it. Since 4 is being multiplied, we're going to have to divide by 4. And you divide by 4 over here. Okay? You have to divide both terms by 4. So you have to divide 3x by 4 and 8x by 4, or 8 by 4. And if you notice, it's a heart, and you have to divide both of them because you love math. So don't forget that. That's what Ms. Shade says. Okay, so 3 divided by 4, you have 3/4 x. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And you're in slope-intercept form. Your m is 3/4, and your b is 2. Okay? Now on this one, we want to get everything away from this negative y. So we have an x, we have to subtract x. Do not forget to bring down this negative sign. So you have negative y equals, okay, right here I'm going to go ahead and put negative x plus 5 because this is a positive 5, so put plus 5. Am I done? No, because y is technically being multiplied by a negative 1, correct? So we have to divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1. That leaves me with y equals, and remember, you heart math. So, whoopsie, get that negative sign in. Okay, negative 1 divided by negative 1 leaves you with a positive x. And 5 divided by negative 1 leaves you with a negative 5. So your m is 1 and your b is negative 5. And that is how you go from standard form to slope-intercept form. And this is how you complete solving for y. You distribute, you combine like terms, then you put it in slope-intercept form. Thank you.